one of the defining questions that has been on my mind this year has to do with identity. And more specifically, how does learning reshape our identity? When I say learning, I don't necessarily mean like in an academic sense, or like, you take a class at school and that changes your identity. I don't necessarily mean that. I mean learning in the sense of like having new experiences in your life. How does that change your identity? Because I think we've all had certain experiences that like we weren't the same afterwards. They really shaped who we were and how we see ourselves and what we think is possible for us. And honestly, one of those ways for me has been through meditation. I bought a course from Dr. Joe Dispenza a few months ago. It's called the Believing, Behaving, Becoming Abundant course. And honestly, I bought it thinking that like it'll make me some money. Like I'll just do some meditations and it'll make me some money and life will be good. But that's not what I learned in that course. I learned that first of all, my definition of abundance has changed significantly in the past 3 months, because when I first bought the course, when I thought about abundance, I just thought wealth. Like I just thought money in my bank account, that's abundance, right? Now, after taking that course, abundance to me means a million other different things. It means like aligned relationships. It means doing work that sets your soul on fire. It means health. It means feeling good about yourself. It means being confident, and so on and so forth. And yes, money is a part of that, but it's not the whole thing, right? Like abundance can't just mean money. And that's an example of how learning something has reshaped my identity. And that's just like the first module of the course, right? Like that's what you discuss in the first video of the course, is like setting a definition for yourself of what abundant means. And like I'm just giving you that example to understand what I mean when I say that learning can reshape identity. Just from that module, learning that like and understanding that abundance can mean more than just one thing, that has opened my mind to a million ways in which I am abundant every single day. And that alone has changed my I am and has changed my identity. And then of course the course goes on and he talks about like the characteristics of abundant people and the characteristics of like people that have a lack mentality and what those are. And that's also learning that changes your identity, right? Because you start to look at people and look at life differently and look at yourself differently. And then he goes into creating a mission for yourself and creating goals that align with your new definition of abundance and that align with your mission, and so on and so forth. I mean, the whole course is fascinating. But then when you get to the actual meditation part, like that's also changed how I see myself and how I see the world. And that's an example of how learning can change your identity, because there was an Andrea before I got the course, and there was an Andrea after she got that course. And I feel like they have completely different identities. And the more that I do the meditations, the more that my identity, the new identity, becomes the like dominant identity, and the old self becomes less and less. And that's just one course, right? Like that's just like meditations from one course, and that I bought 3 months ago. And I think that's an interesting way of looking at how learning something new can reshape your identity. And so that kind of surprised me, because it didn't give me the outcome that I guess it did, but it also changed my identity and my I am in ways that I wasn't expecting when I clicked on the purchase button. And so learning to see abundance in a new way has definitely is an example of how my identity has changed, because I learned something new. And unfortunately, this can also happen in the reverse. It can also happen from a negative experience, or after learning something negative, that can also affect our identities and how we see ourselves and what we think we deserve. Because all of these things that happen to us, all of this information that we have access to, all of these things that we learn day by day end up affecting us more than we know. And especially if we keep being exposed to it over and over again, or if it was a big emotional experience, a traumatic experience, let's say, in a negative way, or a big joyful experience in a positive way, those will definitely experiences will definitely change you and will change your identity. And so I think that this is good news for us, because that means that our identities aren't set in stone, and that we just need to figure out the identity of the person that we want to become, and then start learning things that will help us get there. And once we get there, once we have that identity, then the things that we want that are linked to that identity will come to us much, much sooner. And so I hope this video was interesting to you. And if you like these kinds of questions and these kinds of videos, then you would definitely love my book that I published recently. It's called Mastering the Middle, and it's about how to get from where you are to where you want to be. I call the gap between where we are and where we want to be the middle. And in this book, I discuss what the middle is for and what you should spend your time doing in the middle, because the middle is not a passive time in our lives. The middle, there's a lot going on internally within us between the time that we set a goal or set a desire and the time that we get that desire. There's a lot going on in that time that I call the middle. And so this book, I think, is a great guide for you if you're in that phase of your life. The book is available on Amazon, and I will leave the link in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.